spotlight shines on a musical following the birth of American tap dancing during Black History Month in Indianapolis. The Madam Walker Legacy Center premieres music from the Broadway-bound 5 Points on February 10th.
5 Points tells the story of two men who risk everything for the chance to be a part of the American dream.
I got dreams and plans. Could you give it all a thought? That this could be something I never had. But no, the rest of my life must be anything to see for. Open your heart and maybe you would see that I want to be the one who speaks for me.
Right.
Very
and
cool.
Joel Kirk works to make some Broadway dreams come true. He is the founder and chief executive officer, I want to get all this right, of Discovering Broadway. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're very happy to have you. Discovering Broadway, kind of an incubator of shows that'll eventually get to Manhattan?
Yeah, so we've been programming for less than 2 years. We're a pre-Broadway incubator. So before Hamilton opens, it goes through years of rewrites, and those teams get together in spaces and create music. And we've hosted, this will be our 5th show, we've hosted Sir Elton John's The Devil Wears Prada, Ever After, the Drew Barrymore film, Hamlet, a musical about mental health, and now 5 Points, February 10th. So we couldn't be more excited.
Very cool. You know, I've always wanted to be one of those people who are like, oh, I saw them before they were cool.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
So that's exactly what you're giving people the opportunity to do, be the first to really be able to brag about this experience, right?
Yes, so all the artists who are working on the show come here and write for about a month, and we underwrite housing and food and artist stipends. Then at the end of that process, which is what February 10th is, we bring out top Broadway talent. So Tony and Grammy winner Jesse Mueller is going to start in the cast, Josh Kaufman, who won The Voice,
Yes.
David Owens from The Voice, Morgan Wood, who's from Indianapolis, but is currently playing Eliza in the Broadway tour of Hamilton. So the cast is stacked, the writers are stacked, and it's the Madam Walker, so it's a stunning, perfect space to tell two communities, newly freed slaves who moved north right after the Civil War, and Irish immigrants. So it's a show that's infused with those two styles of music with a stacked cast.
This sounds like such a privilege to be a part of it on your end and for the audience here coming up on the 10th, too.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. So when does the show actually move to Broadway, then?
It's a great question. So we actually know some of the next steps, which we don't always know. But Paper Mill Playhouse, where Disney's Newsies premiered, it's a Broadway tryout theater that's an amazing partner of ours. They are optioning the script, and they're continuing to workshop it. So after us, Paper Mill is then that next development step. So you're right, it's even before seeing a premiere. This is basically what 50 people exclusively in Manhattan get to do. They go and they decide if they want to fund a show or if they want to program a show in their Broadway house. So we're actually the step before the premiere. So this really is the exclusive premiere of the music for Hoosier audiences.
And you say Hoosier, you know, we on All Indiana, we love to feature people from here, and what a testament to the talent that comes out of this area. I feel like not a lot of people know that we breed Broadway stars.
Yes.
Yes. No, when we were casting this, we were wondering, do we cast in New York, do we cast local? And when we looked at the list, I mean, half the cast is Indianapolis-based artists.
Very cool.
The musicians, we have a few coming from LA, but otherwise, the ISO, I mean, there's so much talent here, and that's why we decided to have the incubator program based here, to bring that talent from New York and to work with the local talent here together.
And this has been in development for more than 8 years. Is that normal?
It's a great question. So every show is different. I think Hamilton was about 7 to 8 years, because artists are also working on other things. So Douglas Lyons, one of the authors, he had his Broadway premiere about a year ago. He's also writing a TV show, Fraggle Rock. He's in rehearsals for Parade on Broadway right now, and then he had to get out of that rehearsal just to come to see this premiere of his own musical. So people are working on a lot of things, but yeah, sometimes it can be 5 years, it can be 10. I mean, we hear about things like Queen's Gambit, which took decades. So that persistence of artists, those are the artists that we want to back and bring out here and give them resources so that they can flourish.
Talent people being busy. I get it. I can understand that they pull different ways. Do you think that's tough for them to be kind of doing multiple things, you know, even getting character, things like that?
Yes.
What is that experience like?
Split personality to be in all these places.
Well, when we're bringing out these writers, so Harrison David Rivers, Ethan Pakchar, that's the whole writing team, when we bring them out, we say, be here. be present. Try to be off email, you know, have that setting that says I'm out of town so that you can be present, so you can walk on the cultural trail, you can be at the restaurants, you can enjoy Milktooth, we can take you to Cake Bake. Experience Indiana while you're here, because that is creativity working. When you're in a new space, science shows us your brain is trying to adapt. So actually there's more creative impulses when you're in a different space than when you're creating in the same space.
Wow, absorbing in the community and then really, I mean, being able to relate to the audience even more so.
Yes.
It's incredible. So this has been fascinating. I love
Very
kind of pulling the curtain back on the whole process, because I mean, I've loved musicals forever, and I've seen many things on stage and had no idea what it took to get there. So
yeah, and every project's different. So we can't wait to host the show. And again, we're so supported by all of our local partners: Allied Solutions, JP Morgan, KeyBank, Old National, Visit Indy. It's amazing to see all these people come together to put on a show.
Excellent to hear. Well, thank you so much again for your time and insight.
Thank you.
And viewers can find ticket information for 5 Points. Of course, that's all on allindiana.tv.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm checking it out. And I'm going to be one of those cool people that know it first.
That's right. It's a very exclusive opportunity.